So my name is Fabrice Nordmann. I work at a company that I founded. It's called One More Thing, in reference both to Steve Jobs and Columbo. And so a little bit about myself. Oh, and of course the topic of the session is how to make add-ons, right? Just in case you would be in the wrong room. Little bit about myself. My name is Fabrice Nordmann. That doesn't change. I started with FileMaker in 1995. I was working as an assistant director in the film industry. That was with FileMaker 2.1. And I founded One More Thing in 2010. We became Claris Platinum Partner. And actually we were the first, I think, in the world to be platinum partner in more than one country. That was France and Belgium. I live in France and Belgium, by the way. If you ask me where I live, I'm still...
At the same time?
Yes, at the same time. 2 wives, 2 families. No, just kidding. And fmcloud.fm, you know also my maybe my name or face was using that, but fmcloud.fm is only the branch that does hosting and licensing from One More Thing. One More Thing, a little bit about One More Thing. I rarely talk about the company itself, but we are a team of 16 persons, actually 17 now that we got this new chatbot that I just demoed earlier. Mostly, I mean, almost everyone is doing development. We have no administration. Yeah, just one person, but mostly we're FileMaker fans. And what we do, as most of you, FileMaker consulting. We do hosting, licensing, as I said, and we do more and more business intelligence using Tableau. And you can find, by the way, quite nice videos about the integration between FileMaker and Tableau on our website if you want. We also have vertical apps, a few of them. We have one called Adjusto, that's for Apple service providers all around the world, interacting with the Apple APIs and so on. We have another one called Gest-en-Cher. This is a French auction management system. And also we do some developer tools. The icon here is our best-selling One More clip. That was pleased in Rome a few weeks ago to hear that it was the preferred, the favorite tool of one of the presenters. That was nice to hear. And among these developer tools, we do FileMaker add-ons. So all that bullshit was just to come to that. It was we do FileMaker add-ons. Okay, why do we do FileMaker add-ons? FileMaker add-ons. Do you remember when that was introduced in FileMaker platform? Can someone tell me?
Yeah.
Yes. What? When? What version? 17 exactly. It was introduced as something you could drag or select from the portal interface, if you remember. And as soon as I saw this, although it was really not flexible at all, you could only insert the add-ons that were previously designed by the Claris people. I felt that there was some potential there, and I went, looked into it and saw it was simple things that were very promising for the future. So I dug into this, and now I can present you something I hope interesting. So first of all, what are add-ons? I don't know if you know Magritte, that's our national most famous painter in Belgium. Ceci n'est pas une pipe, that translated, this is not a pipe, right? And Claris engineers have managed to mimic that in doing Ceci n'est pas un plugin, right? Although the icon of an add-on really clearly says it's a plugin, it isn't. So I will now come to a little comparison between the two, because there are various ways why the distinction is not so clear. First, there is this kind of strangeness in the icon, but also in some communication that what you find on the marketplace, or some fellow developers website who group basically they don't make really the difference. You click on add-ons and what you find is plugins, or vice versa, right? So these are two completely different things. Maybe for most of you this is obvious distinction, but I prefer to spend a few minutes just to make sure we are on the same page. A plugin is a library that adds feature to FileMaker or Claris Pro server, or to iOS SDK compiled apps, right? You cannot install a plugin with FileMaker Go, but you can use plugins with the iOS SDK compiled apps, which is basically the same. So it's a library. So and it runs within the FileMaker process. And what is important to understand is that the code of the plugin is executed, right? It runs something, it's executed, so which means there is some silicium is going to be activated by the plugin, and therefore there is a risk, right? There is something there that can be a crash, or there could be a security issue, and so on. We drank too much beer, I think, last night, and now they are, you know, they're getting rid of the glasses. So the features of a plugin are made available to you using calculation functions. From first a few versions, they've been able to declare new script steps as well. Although very few plugins use that feature, and this is a pity because it's very useful. And there is a third way, which is modifying the FileMaker UI, FileMaker Pro UI. And most of us use MBS plugin for potentially all the three methods, but the most obvious in the free version of MBS is color coding, is the search engine in the relationship graph, and all these are a modification of the FileMaker Pro UI, right? So these and the extensions are .fm plugin on Mac, and well, I just give you the other extensions here, and I don't want to spend more time on plugins because this is not the topic of that session. So some examples. Add-ons, on the contrary, they are simple XML packages, and they automatically implement some native FileMaker object to a FileMaker or Claris file, right? So there is nothing in an add-on that you could not do manually using FileMaker Pro, right? You can insert many things, but there's no magic underneath. There is no other language, there is no other capabilities, right? It's only a matter of automating what you could do manually. You need the add-on itself only at the moment when you implement it in the file, when you insert it, right? You don't need to have it at runtime. On the plugin, on the contrary, you need it when it's executed, of course. And they can contain almost anything FileMaker supports. So almost everything you can do within your file, add-ons supported. They come in two flavors, which is in fact one with two packages. It's a folder. An add-on is a folder. It's a folder that contains some files, right? And natively, when you create an add-on using the script step that we are going to see just a little bit later, it delivers it as an FM add-on file. Right? The FM add-on file is just a XAR compression of that folder. That's nothing more, right? The advantage of that is that if you double click that file, so if you send it to somewhere, for instance, it will tell FileMaker Pro, well, it tell the operating system that FileMaker Pro can open that, and FileMaker Pro will open that and archive this folder at the right place, and it will also rescan its old folder, so you do not have to restart FileMaker Pro to notice that it has a new add-on, right? As opposed to dragging this folder directly in place, and then FileMaker needs a restart to be aware of that. But they're the same thing. So, what do add-on support? Almost everything, as I said. So I'm just going to read this list because it's impressive, and maybe I forgot things. I did it very early on the plane, so. So of course, everything related to layout and object, right? Plus, we'll see what's called the draggable object, which is a special type of object. The themes are included. Themes also, and also, of course, the styles that make this theme. Tables and fields, relationships, value lists, data sources. This is something very often, I would say, unknown, that you can define a data source in your add-on. It's very powerful what you can do with that. Of course, there are scripts. I'm not mentioning, of course, layout folders, script folders, all that. Custom functions, custom menus, and data. Right? So basically almost everything. What it doesn't support, and on purpose, is everything related to security. So you cannot create accounts, you cannot create privilege sets. This is a little bit more of an issue. Not extended privileges, and of course, but this is really fairly logical because it doesn't belong to the file. Well, the file options, yes, but then the app preferences, it really does not belong to the file, right? I might have forgotten things, I don't know, but basically everything you can do in FileMaker, you can package it in an add-on. So if you want, I can show you a few examples of add-ons that I have here. So I have we will come later to how to make them, right? But first, let's see the benefits of having some. That's more fun. So no, that was the other one. First, add-ons. You can find them here in this third panel of the layout mode. Should I zoom in? No? No, the young people are in the back, so it's fine. Yeah. And then I just click the plus button, and here I have a few add-ons that I downloaded from their website. On our website, you can find add-ons from One More Thing, also from IU Data, and we'll talk about it later, but you're welcome to submit yours. So, for instance, this one is very successful one. Very simple. It looks very simple. The code behind it is not so simple. So once I implemented the add-on, it becomes available in my file, right? And now if I look at my scripts, for instance, I see I've imported also script folder, and I could have imported data. I could have imported custom function just by doing that, right? And this add-on comes with a draggable object, right? So I can drag it directly to my layout like that. And what this add-on does is it improves the user experience when you input a date, right? Inserting a date is I don't have other words than slang to define that, but so for instance, if you define a date, you could use a short format. What they are? We were the 12th of November. I think that is that. I don't know. Oh, already. So I just do that, and it changes to the current date, right? To the. I just typed so say foreign tag. Okay. Or I could say, yeah, another way to say it is, let's say today. Today it works on this sign / works in find mode, but why doesn't it on browse mode, right? So it does, right? Or you can say, okay, let's make it a week ago. What day were we? Okay, so we have a lot of, so it's very easy. It makes it very easy to input dates for a user. It's very convenient, and it's still a date field. So of course, if you don't want to drag the add-on every time, you can just, the only thing you've got to do, this, oh sorry, I should have, this one comes up with a little bit of documentation, just for your first insertion. The documentation is really an issue, so how to give a proper documentation to, and so here I explained that you can all drag this add-on, or you can just here come and add a trigger on object validate and select that, and that's it. We are there. I think if I do that, it goes to your normal date field that was there before, right? The date field is not specifically coming from the add-on. Okay, just tell me when you're fed up with the examples. I just don't want to. So for instance, this one, rating. Rating is, it looks easy again, but the code behind, just to make it nice, is not really easy. So it goes like that, and you can go to browse mode, and then you have, you know, an Amazon-like 5-star widget, right? Of course, again, you can pair it with a with another of your fields. So let's say I'm going to take this rating 1. Okay, I don't want this field anymore. And then you see it interacts with my rating 1 field, right? And I can add a second instance of that widget and tell it, okay, you match with another field, which is number 2. Okay, so these are simple, but very useful. I mean, the amount of detail that you need to have this working really nicely is crazy. So this is all packaged, and all you have to do is just drag and drop, and you've got it. I'm now going to go to a little bit more complex examples in terms of functionality. So what do we have here? So these are, well, this is bug report. It takes a little time to configure, but it's easy to get feedback from your users. I'm just going to show you just so you understand. Okay, I just drag it here like that, and because I'm in full access, I have access to the settings, right? And you can set up your SMTP settings, or your FreshDesk. We work with FreshDesk for a ticketing system, and you give your API key, and that's it. And then well, I have to give something like okay, let's see. I don't know, just to authenticate to a server. Okay, well, anyway, no, sorry, I would need to take some time to give you an example. So let's do that, and then the user sees. Sorry, I will just remove the condition so you can see. So I am not giving it a proper configuration now. So the user basically has this button, and at any time it will be able to send a bug report, right? So you can type something and attach documents, but also you will receive, for instance, we add to that on which layout it was, what was the window mode, what was the machine, important information, and of course a snapshot. So you can just double click your email and be in the same situation where your user was when he sent you this bug report, right? So this is just another example. The PDF viewer, we sold zillions of it. So it's really addressing a real issue. Apparently, I was tired of dealing with the issues that we had every time FileMaker had a new version or Adobe Acrobat had a new version, and you know, PDF not showing and blank and everything. I don't know if that rings a bell. So I was really tired of that, and I decided that we should build a simple plugin to view a media, to view medias. So and everything we need to do now is just, I'll put some container here, and that's it. And now let's say I need to insert a file. Let's find, I don't know, a file that is not too, well, this one is okay, and now I can see it, and that's it. It's just simple as that, right? PDF. It does video. It does, for instance, it's a way to display SVG on the layout, which we still can't. We can play video. We can play. You can render JSON. I mean, there are a number of types of files. It was called PDF because that was the main purpose, but now it does a lot of things in a very simple way. I really, and this one, okay, I want to show it to you very quickly, just to say, and then I need to show some from the EngageU data, but this one has a full logic, right? This is a real full developer tool. It does logging, right? So you can log in a log file everything that happens, and well, when you want it to be logged in your scripts, you know. So it makes it easy, for instance, to debug on the server-side scripting, and it makes it easy to also to measure, you know, performance of your scripts and so on. So first, then you go to the configuration tool here, and I'm just going to launch here a script, right? And the script from time to time is going to write to a log, and the script can call. Will it work, by the way? Yeah. Now it's pausing. Yeah. Now I downloaded the file, so I didn't know if we would have the internet, but whether the things happen on the client or on the server, you're able to follow it as a single session or as a single process, a sub-process, and you can measure time, and you can return errors, and so on. It's gorgeous. I don't know how to debug a server-side script without this anymore. It's and also, I don't know if you're. I mean, no. I mean, let's not talk about logging, but you have, it's state-of-the-art logging, right? You have the error level. You can define it, so you can adjust it. For instance, when you're developing, you have a very low alert level because you want to log everything. But then when you go to prod, you don't want to log everything. You just want to log issues. But sometimes you have one user saying, "But I have this issue," and you want to get the lower level just for that user of that. You can do that with this. It's so it's using the configuration tool here. You can log to a database or to a text file and so on. Yeah, it's a full developer tool. Other example from our friends in EngageU data. So for they have, by the way, also it's a full planner, very well designed. I'm just going here to select, let's say, something easier. They work more with the web viewer thing. So here is thing, and then the documentation is here, and then you just have to tell, okay, let's let's use that field that we used before for a rating and make it, I don't know, that big. And then I don't think it's interacting as I would like it to. What did I do wrong? There, it should be. Oh, sorry. That should, it works. I'm just forgetting a setting probably. Oh, sorry for that. I should have tried that before. Anyway, it's really easy to add those controls. So that should interact with the number field that we had before, and so they have color picker and they have this fantastic planner. Because if Claris wants to do project management using Claris tool, they could take a look at that. No, it's really nice. Okay, so maybe enough demo, right? You see, what I wanted to show is that you can do lots of things, lots from the small thing to the completely evolved system. So of course, it's not always about distributing add-ons. It's also about reusing your own code. For instance, before or even now, I guess you have, you know, probably a template file or something from which you start your development with, you know, which is already configured, custom functions and the basic stuff. Sometimes this is a little bit overkill, and so I'm just going to have a small app. First, I'm going to give to the customer everything I've ever developed, and well, you can just bundle these codes as add-ons and say, okay, yeah, I need my text parsing function add-on, right? And you just add this to this application, right? So it's also for your internal use. So how to? And then I hope you know, because I don't know. It's always a little bit more tricky than it should be. So first of all, we need to prepare a file. Prepare a file means give it the name of the add-on we want. Actually, what matters is the name of the window. But it's better to give it the name to the file. Why? Because if you want to rename the window, then you need a script to do that, right? And you don't want your script to be in part of the add-on in the end. That's a limitation. You cannot exclude some code from a file. It will be in the add-on in the end, right? So the easiest way is to name the file after the name you want to the add-on. And define the icon. You can always change the icon later, but natively FileMaker will grab the file icon to use it for the add-on. Then prepare the layout for draggable object. So I'm going to show you this to you. I'm going to open one of the source files. Well, I could have showed you this short demo. If we have time at the end, I can show you this one to you. It's fun. So here, no, this is a little bit overkill. Sorry. Okay, let's do, I don't know, I open rating, right? So this is the source file I use really to modify the add-on, right? To create it. So if you look at what I was saying, there is a layout here, and it's named. I will open that up. Can you read here? It has a specific name, right? Where the FM add-on template directives underscore. The slides are available if you don't want to, but if you want my face in front of it, that's possible now only. So, and then the language. Why? Because you can have multilingual add-ons if you really want to have an add-on that behaves differently, or with text that are different. You can have several, but of course you have to maintain them. So this is the name. So when FileMaker sees that, when it creates the add-on, right, it will say, okay, is there a template that has this name? If yes, it will know that it is on this layout that the draggable object is. Okay? So it doesn't mean the other layouts are not going to be brought into the add-on. All layouts will be. Everything will be, right? Everything in the file will be. But on this specific layout, it will look for an object named that way. Oh, sorry, not named that way, but and actually that has this in its name. Right? It's not. It doesn't have to be to be the exact name. You can add something. I will show you right away. So here it's a group, and as you can see, the name of the object is that. Right? And I have this in the name. Okay? By the way, if I had something else here on this layout, because there is such an object, this would be ignored. This is the only thing that won't be part of the add-on, because it's on this layout, and on this layout there is an object named that way, so this is not part. This will be ignored. Okay, so what does it mean? It means you have to have one object that is going to become the draggable object, right? So you saw how I did when I was implementing an add-on. I was taking it from the left panel and dragging it onto my layout, and that object is defined here that way by grouping it and naming it. That's okay. This tag, although this strange thing, I don't know how to name that, can be used on other objects. It can be, so it will reference the add-on instance UUID, right? So every time you drag this object onto your layout, you have a new instance. You remember I gave you examples of the rating thing, and I dragged it twice and paired it with two fields. Okay, and then there was some conditional formatting and so on that were depending on what field was modified and so on, right? So to do this, they have to be a reference that is different from one instance to the other, okay? So now I'm going back to my implementation file, which was here. Unfortunately, I was stupid enough to remove that, but I will do it here twice. And what you can see here, there are many named objects, I think, here. Almost every object here is named because, and you see in each instance where this string is found, it's substituted with the add-on UUID, the instance UUID, right? So this is all, you see it's always here the same because I'm on the same instance, but if I look at another instance, I will have something different. Another UUID, okay? Then we need to look at how we produce this add-on, right? This add-on will be produced by a script step called save a copy as add-on package. They couldn't do shorter. By the way, it's not really save in a copy, because it's going to save a copy of a not the current file, any file. You call it with the window. So I think the right terminology should be save a window as an add-on package, or save an add-on package if you want to make things shorter. But okay, so I'm going to just to show you now. I have an app that I designed myself an hour ago for the 100th time. It's just a file that allows me to create this add-on package, right? So let's say no, not this one. I'll create an add-on from this, right? Okay, so let's create a script. Just not to get confused, I will rename window and set window name, window title, sorry, sometimes it's name, sometimes it's title, as a demo add-on, right? Okay, and I'm going to run it. So now it's that, and as I don't want it to be part of my add-on, I delete that script, right? Okay, and then from my fantastic add-on generator file, I will adapt my script, and I want to call the window called demo add-on, right? This is save a copy as add-on package, calling a window. Can you all see? And then I'm going to run the script, and then FileMaker does not what I wanted. Was it? Hey. How did it get? Yeah, but it's not that. How? Why did? Or maybe do I have multiple windows?
Are you sure that it didn't land in the folder you had open?
Sorry, it was supposed to be demo or add-on demo. No, and recreated something rating. How does it know? I don't know. Sorry, this is first time it happens. So now it should look for this window and create an add-on on that with that name, and it creates another one empty rating. I have no idea why. I'm sorry. That's really not normal. And actually, it replaced them. Yeah. I know. Who said it was the second option? That's a very, very rare case where you should use that indeed. And then again, no, there's no logic in here. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, it's not a big issue, except I don't understand why it does it just now when I do the demo. That's the demo effect. So, as I said earlier, what it creates is an FM add-on file, which is instantly unarchived into a bunch of files, right? Let's go back to the presentation, so I'm sure I'm not forgetting something. Yes, managing the files. So I will shortly comment the files. So we have these types. The language.xml file. So these are, for instance, German, English, right? And if I look at that, what do you think you'll find? You'll find just a dictionary. So it's not where you will edit your strings or anything, right? This would be very difficult to edit. Okay? You could, but do it up front. Okay, so then there is this, and although you remember I didn't do a French or a Spanish layouts, right? So it just basically duplicated the English one. So if by any chance you need to make a modification, just duplicate your English file and rename it, and that's fine. Then you have the icon files. You have actually two. Right. You can absolutely replace them. There are just PNGs. And I can never stick to something I wrote, so now I've already showed the pictures. Okay, then you have the info underscore language. Info underscore language are JSON files that describe the add-on, right? So the category is that in theory, well, it's actually visible from the FileMaker interface when you select an add-on, not the features in that. And my guess was that this would be used as metadata for the marketplace. I think that was the intention, but I don't know if there is if it's ever moving at all, or I don't know. For now, it's just for the sake of you know, having it. But the title, of course, is visible. The description and the category. If you remember, when I was inserting an add-on from here, in the implementation thing, if I wanted to have that, then I have categories showing up here in the list of add-ons, right? JavaScript, IU data, and so on. Okay, and then you have your description here, and also a preview. So this is what the info files are made for. Then records. So this is important to know. You can have record information within your add-on. In the example I showed earlier, for instance, there was you know, the PDF viewer, for instance, comes with some JavaScript resources that is displayed in the web viewer. This is in the container, so there is a record somewhere, so, right? So there are, for some add-ons, it's really important to have records for your settings and so on. But by default, Claris will create as many record files as you have languages, but that can really be heavy. So if you want to optimize your add-on, just remove them. You just need the English one, that's enough. Okay. Then there are the icons I already mentioned. The preview is the preview thing, and the template.xml. This is the big one. Template.xml is unfortunately something you have from time to time to dig into, because there are still issues. So what time is it? Sorry, how long do I have? Yeah.
It's 2:30.
So I have 15 minutes left, right? Is that correct? Okay. So there are still bugs at the time when you create an add-on. Right. I'm going just to show you some examples. If I do this is an online resource. It's a okay. So this is a source file for an add-on we are using internally, but we did not release it. It allows you to create exports, facilitate the export to Excel in a nice way. So you can, for instance, edit templates, create ones with name, my export, and then select which layout you want to export the data from, and then you can define which fields you want to export and which column name for and you can hide the fields or make it well, you have tons of options anyway. And then close that, and then you can run the template, for instance. No, not that. And then export wizard. No, sorry. Okay, I don't know why. Okay, why is my template not showing here? I don't know. It should be here. Edit templates. Okay. This should be okay. Oh, I need to select the theme. Okay, let's make it green. Is EngageU. Right, and save. And close window. And then run template. No. Okay, sorry. Anyway, it's really, normally it's really nice. Okay, but if I start, if I run it, if I create an add-on from that magic file, okay, you agree to just create an add-on, and it should be nice immediately. Yes, there is a lot in this add-on. Anyway, so, but as you will see, for instance, buttons that appear twice in the interface. There are some object grouping issues and so on. So now it's ready. Let's try to implement that. It's here. And then I drag it here. And then if I look at that, you see there are some issues. You think there is a button here, but in fact there are two. See, only this. So basically the XML is corrupt. It's not working really nicely. Okay, so it's always the same type of issues, but unfortunately you cannot really do, I mean, if your add-on is complex, it's very rare that it will be okay first shot. So you will have to open this up, and this is where it gets tricky. And for instance, for this duplicate buttons, you've got to find them here and remove that. The problem is that if you think, after all, you need to modify your add-on and regenerate this, well, you've got to redo the same thing over and over again. So this is one of the limitations we have, right? Okay, I'm going back now to the presentation, and then if we have time, I can show you another one, which is fun. But for now, we go that. So we did that. So the limitations. It's not easy to design an add-on that will nicely integrate in the target solution theme. There is no way, you know, it's just like when you convert from a theme to another, there's no way to match by name, for instance, or to do anything for the styles. So you have to, I always use the you know, the minimalist theme, because this is with the least information, but still there might be some themes on which you still need to adapt the widget that you drag. So this is, there is no update mechanism. This is the number one issue, really, because you deliver an add-on right? It's working. Now you want to add a new feature, unless it's within an embedded code, or I mean a dependency, like something resource that is found online or in the container. You cannot add or modify the code, right? You've got to use the Claris updater thing, but this is a completely different topic, although it's also using XML. There is no way to manage a limited license. So if you would like to give a preview, for instance, limited to that many records or and so on, and then you would need to pay, there's no way of doing that. And then there is no easy way to protect some parts of the code. The code is transparent because it's just integration of except if you deliver an external file, and as I said earlier, you can create a file reference. So if the final user is okay to have a secondary file where some code resides, then that's fine. You can do it, but it's not easy. And it's very challenging to provide an add-on which is both functional and that contains its own documentation, right? So it's always a compromise. You saw when I dragged things, there was some piece of documentation with it, but you would like to be able to drag it without the documentation, or with, maybe. And as for security and quality are concerned, an add-on doesn't have the same risk as a plugin because it does not execute code, right? But still, it will load some web viewer resources if there is a web viewer in the add-on, right? And so that's as soon as you go to browse mode, it will load the web viewer, and also you're going to execute some FileMaker code that is within this add-on, and I'm guessing you're not going to read every bit of code that was implemented before you execute it, right? Because who does that? So what if you would find, well, we are a small community and we are trustworthy people, but let's say you'd find a website where you have super add-ons and so on, and some will come from a domain or in .ru and something, and you find that this add-on does the job you wanted, but in the background it also sends you data somewhere, or it creates a full access account and you didn't notice that, right? That could be a possibility, really. So as for every plugin architecture, you need to trust. You need to trust the architecture and the author to implement it, right? And this is why, so I'm just giving a little word about the add-on OLAM project. It's a project that we have with fellow developers from IU Data, as you saw. It's about providing if you could be sure that the add-on comes from a reliable source, with a quality label, and that the add-ons are designed in a way that they will integrate as nicely as possible to your solution. And if you could have a delegate support, well, in a way, that's some more thing. And most of all, getting the trust, because that some marketplace or some place is secure and the code is reviewed and so on. So this is what we are doing with fellow developers. No profit involved. It's just we want to try to make this architecture trustworthy. So if you are interested, just get in touch with me at the booth. And that was the only Swedish word of Swedish I know. So, and I had to spell check it. So. If we have just a few minutes, I can show you another add-on that I find very funny to use. But if you have questions, maybe more important.
You mentioned earlier there's no security included within the add-on.
Yeah.
How does it appear within this, if you're putting, say, fields or tables in, how does that manage with accessibility?
Yes, it's a very good question. It depends on your default settings. You know, in security you have, so it's a very good question because indeed we had instances, as I said, it's a PDF viewer thing which needs the record. We sold hundreds. It's crazy. And we had some instances where I said, hey, it's not working. Yeah, and indeed, because the default thing was that the user had no access to that file, to that record. So it's now in the documentation that you should allow that table for read in privileges. So excellent question. Yes, indeed. Any other question?
Yeah, there was, as long as I remember, I haven't looked at the latest documentation, but what about updating add-on?
Yeah, updating is a serious limitation, as I said. It's you cannot update code.
What would happen to the data then if you take the add-in out? Do you just lose it? If you've added a field from the add-in and then it's removed?
Yes. Yes, everything you, well, yeah, I didn't show uninstalling an add-on, but well, actually you now have an option. If you uninstall an add-on, I can show this to you easily. So let's say I will, this one actually comes with a field, which is more a demo field, something, right? Now if I simply uninstall it, you see I have an option to delete everything, right? So if I uncheck that box, nothing is going to be deleted, but of course it won't be linked to any add-on if you reinstall it, right? It's just
but it becomes part of FileMaker.
yeah, it just loses its link to any add-on, right? That's it. But if I check that, everything that was custom function, data, layout thing, everything that we imported with the add-on is gone. Yes?
For example, if you have an add-on, well, that one which has the rating field, and you would uninstall it, but you want to keep that data, so you don't want to, you will uncheck the box, and you would want to get a new version of that.
Yes, unfortunately, no, yeah.
Can it install it, or does it override what happens with the field if it's the same rating field?
No, there would be no link. I mean, everything is removed. So let's try the scenario. Okay, let's do rating. Right, I do rating here, and then I say, okay, this widget is linked to my field number 1. Right. Okay, and then okay, it works, and yeah, it works. Okay, and then I'm going to uninstall this. I can keep that. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was the data. It's only the data. Is it only data? Sorry, no, it's only the data that is kept. Sorry.
Yeah. If I would be using the data, the rating field that you have in your
yeah,
and I would delete that one, so the rating field would stay there.
no, because it's part of the data. Again, I can look. No, I'm not answering the question. Yeah, okay.
Well, you have the rating field in your plugin add-on.
Yeah.
And I would like to. I've been using the rating field, what you provided in your plugin. I didn't attach it to my.
Okay.
And I would like to. Then you, for example, you have updated the rating add-on, and I would like to keep the old rating data field that was installed before. And what happens when I install a new version? It's the same name field.
No, it will create a new one. Look, let's do it, right? So I'm just adding the, and just, okay, and, oh yeah, okay, I know, it had a default value because it's a new, okay, now I've had the, Okay, now it's working on this global field. Huh? This field it's just for demo, for the sake of demo, and it comes from a table that comes with the add-on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what you're saying is we want to uninstall, and we want to keep that field.
Yeah.
Okay, so the field still exists, right? I can show it to you here. It's still there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I will reinstall the same add-on to my file, and what I get is another one.
Oh,
See?
new table, yeah.
New.
So that's sort of I remember there was this example sort of where you get to like person and contact details with that FileMaker provides as an add-on, at least it used to be when it came. And if I would like to keep that and I would like to update the add-on, so then I could some sort of script it to.
Yes, because then the update I think was within the web viewer resource. I don't think it was the objects and data. For instance, with the web viewer thing here, you know, the PDF viewer, basically it comes with it comes with a table and a record, and we have some code in this container. We could very well provide an update mechanism that would download a new resource to that container, because there's no FileMaker resource involved in the update, you see, but it's different. Yes?
Hi. Has anyone, like Claris, ever said anything like they're gonna at some point make it updatable? You can update.
I'm not aware of this really. I mean, I know that they are working on this update tool. Frankly, the update tool seems out of reach for me. It's overly complex. I mean, the time you would spend building an updater is so. I think it's a work in progress, but I'd like it to progress.
Yeah.
If you save a copy of that file, do all the add-ons stay within the new
Yes,
file?
because they are in the file.
They're
They're in the file. The only moment where something happens is when you insert when you add the add-on, and basically it's just like copying a lot of code in your file. But then it's just your file. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.